CCTV stands for closed circuit television and is commonly known as video surveillance. CCTV technology was first developed in 1942 by a German scientist to monitor the launch of V-2 rockets. These closed circuit television surveillance cameras are widely used in policing here in the Federation and now serve as a critical crime-fighting tool. To tell us more about this, we warmly welcome Julian Morrishaw in the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. Welcome, Mr. Morrishaw, to Good Morning SKN.
Yes, good morning all. Happy to be here.
Good to have you to talk about this very important topic. CCTVs, closed-circuit television, obviously used to fight crime on some level, particularly because of the identification that it helps, right? In your estimation, does it help? Does it really help?
Yes, CCTV helps in two folds. One, in the absence of witnesses, and the other fold is when persons are failing to give information. So the CCTV help aids the police in getting that information that is not possible, so there is no witnesses. So it does help. So, and we appreciate the use of it, and the technology is widely used, as you said earlier, and the inventor must have known somewhere along the line that persons would get scared and would want to give evidence. So CCTV is the way to go.
So I want to know, how long have they been in use in the Federation, and are they on at this present moment?
Well, CCTV was first, it was introduced here a while back, but this last phase was installed in 2017.
Okay.
And since then to now, we are using those CCTVs to aid us in investigation.
Okay.
However, we have upgraded from wireless. We use wireless at the first time they was installed, I guess, due to cost. So now fiber is now available. We're using fiber optics. So we are rolling out the wireless and using fiber optics. And that enhances our video quality.
Okay.
All right, well, that's important. What can you tell us about the locations in which the cameras have been placed? Particularly, is there a strategy that goes into, most populated area? Is it something like that?
Well, the cameras was placed mainly at areas where we had troubled areas, and where they are prone for accidents, and where we are mostly where the tourists may travel. So there was strategically placed around last year in those areas. Those on the eastern side, which is now ongoing, they are placed mainly on the main roads to look at the traffic and any accident or any violation. If you need to track any vehicle that we use in the commission of a crime, it's easy to use those cameras to track where the vehicle may go.
Well, that makes sense. I got to tell you, when I see them at the red light, I get a little nervous because I see people who actually violate that. They run through a red light, but I go, that camera's on. I'm wondering if it's working. But with you here, I think.
Is it on? I want to know. That's my...
Well, he said that.
it is on. Oh, okay. Good stuff. I missed that. Sorry.
Yes.
The only time they're not on is if we're doing maintenance. And we have a schedule where we'll alert the high command that we're doing maintenance in this area.
Oh, okay.
During the course, we have some downtime.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, they are recorded 24 hours per day.
Okay, that's great.
So have the cameras needed much maintenance thus far?
Well, with the weather element, the maintenance is pretty expensive to maintain them.
Wow.
For instance, those on the Bear Road, the sea blast keep eating away the metal and the glass of the lens. Wow. They may fall out and the sensors go bad. So, and they are pretty expensive to replace. So I commend the government for trying to keep up with the maintenance, even though at times we may fall short, but it's expensive.
I do think it's a step in the right direction, though. I feel safer already. I notice as well, since you mentioned tourists, that they seem to be moving further and further out of the generally populated area. They're going more like on the main road, the island main road. Even just
they're
outside
walking
our
up the
studio,
Bay Road.
precisely, we saw them. So having the cameras in those locations definitely would help. That being said, in terms of the storage of the footage, how long is that footage generally stored, if you are at liberty to tell us?
Well, it's safe to say it stores a long time. Okay. I cannot give...
Understood.
It stores a long time.
Okay.
You get a couple months of storage.
Okay.
All right. Well, following up on our previous conversation before that last break, Mr. Morrishaw, one of my concerns as a citizen was having the CCTV equipment installed, but in an era where we're going through COVID and everyone is wearing masks, wondering whether or not their effectiveness would actually be downplayed because of the absence of distinguishing features that, would say this is the person that did that, as opposed to seeing a face and saying, okay, this person is readily identifiable. So how do you work around that?
Well, we work around that in two parts. One, we look at the body language of the person, the build, the height, and the clothing that they wear, and persons who are around the time of the incident who we can identify, and then we use that person to help us identify the perpetrator, because they must have seen that person prior to the incident. So two ways. We use the technology when the offenders are wearing face masks.
All right, so public involvement is still very important to help you do your job.
Yes,
you can.
Right. So other than crime investigation, what else can the CCTV cameras be used for?
Well, we use the CCTV cameras other than the criminal element as if there's a roadblock, the operator can see that there's a roadblock and call traffic and say, hey, you need some assistance on 4th Street. Okay. So it can be used as a preventative tool also if we are seeing a vehicle or someone looking around, looking suspicious. Okay. They alert the police and have them go and have it checked. So CCTV help us in many angles, not just criminally, but it also help us in securing our bases, our stations, because we have found since the government introduced the duty-free concession and persons have cameras erected on their houses, that the break-ins have cut down. So we are now implementing that same technology on our police stations and government buildings. Okay. So
that's good to know. It's as if the community is teaching the police what works in some respect, because you're taking that in some, not all of them, but in some respects, definitely. That's good to know. One of my questions for you is whether or not you were knowledgeable of community, let's say community or neighborhood watches implementing CCTV programs, or whether that would be something that you suggest that they do. And I think you kind of hinted at it, because you said, obviously, with that equipment being placed on houses, there would be less break-ins, or at least sure people. What are your thoughts on using CCTV for things like neighborhood watches?
Well, I think CCTV in neighborhood watches is a good idea. And I've seen where a neighbor may have camera on his house, and someone may break into the neighbor house that don't have cameras, and the neighbor willingly assists the police in showing the footage. So the neighbor is basically watching his neighbor house using his CCTV. Okay. So it's a good idea. I encourage it, and I hope much people see the trend that having cameras is eliminating a lot of these break-ins, and go forward and install these CCTV cameras on their premises. So if you have cameras in your house, at least you're watching your community, your neighbors, and you're still helping the police. So it's a good thing to have neighborhood watch.
Yeah, very good point.
Being your brother's keeper. So compare and contrast telecommunications crime fighting to in-person crime fighting.
The telecommunication crime fighting. It's to me, it's technology that is used, especially when there is maybe bad weather, or the officers can't be out on the road. Okay. At least the technology department can still assist, they still have a visual out while the police cannot. Also, if there is storm and we have power and the officers cannot be patrolling, at least while we have current, the cameras will still secure the Bastille, the street of Bastille, in the absence of the officers.
Okay.
Not sure if that answers your question. But
yeah, it does, because if you can't go outside, then we have the cameras to pick up.
Yes.
Opposed to the person to person crime fighting methods. Yeah,
and if you have a short staff,
yeah.
Yes.
The cameras help as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got that. A little more presence. A little more presence indeed. All right. So in terms of the future of telecoms in crime fighting, obviously we've gotten from wireless to fiber optics, you said. Are there any more changes that we can expect to see to facilitate any further improvements?
Well, in the East installation, we've thought about hurricane, and if there is a pole falling, a pole fell, and burst our fiber optics, we will lose communication to the particular set of cameras or camera. So the developer that we use, he came up with this solution we call VidSmart. It's a small device. It means surveillance video recording monitoring technique. It's a small device that it has the capabilities of sending the information to our base via 4G, and also it stores the footage on site. So if there's a break or anything, the VidSmart will do the recording, the monitoring, and everything until we can get service restored to the area. So that's one technology we're using going forward in the event of damaged fiber. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. I love the nature of it, that you're forward thinking about things like that, and that puts me at ease, and I'm sure it puts everyone at ease.
Yeah.
Apart from the person who has a camera pointed at her house, because she just told me that, by the way. And it's not her camera, by the way. I think it's yours. You did, though.
It puts me at ease. Yes, it puts me at ease.
You did.
So, any closing words for the public as we wrap up?
Well, the closing word for the public is be your brother's keeper. I encourage you to take the opportunity and have CCTV on your home. Also, when there is an incident, don't be afraid to give the police the footage, because persons are scared. But once you give the police the footage, you will not be included in the investigation. The officer who took the footage will be the person. So don't be afraid, everyone. You can have CCTV on your home. I assure that the Prime Minister will continue the duty-free concession, and we have a safer St. Kitts and Nevis.
Indeed.
All right.